All right, folks, so I'm back here today to show you how to work with drawing pretty much anything, but in this case an animal. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a handful of different methods. The first method I'm going to show you is using some basic shapes in order to try to capture the essence of an animal and copy it. Now, one problem that I've noticed people have been having is trying to find paper that they can use for their projects. Some people have computers at home and therefore have computer paper, but other people don't, and so it's been a little bit more of a struggle, therefore, to actually get their work done on a surface that looks professional and looks nice. Most people are doing it on white paper, but some people have been stuck using lined paper. And that's kind of a drag. So I want to throw an idea at you here. So this is a realtor's notepad. So you can go ahead and just use a realtor's notepad like this. I covered up the names and stuff just because I don't want anybody getting mad at me for putting their name up on a video somewhere. But all you have to do is just flip over a sheet of this paper and think about removing the parts that have the printing on the other side. So with the printing on the other side, I would say just to get rid of it. And what I'd do is just fold it so that you can see the edge lining up with each other. And then just do the same thing over here. Just fold it so that you can see the edge lining up with each other. And as you see, we've got a shape that's actually pretty close to the shape of the picture that I'm trying to copy. So that's useful. Now there is a little bit of a ghost image. They call it a watermark on this. So I'm not going to use that side though. What I'm just going to do is I'm just going to cut off the part that I don't need here and work within the remaining space on the back side of the paper. So I'm just going to cut with my scissors here right along that fold I gave myself, and that way we know it's going perfectly straight up and down, or pretty close to it. And doing the same thing on the other side. There we go. Now I'm not providing free advertising or making anybody angry at me, whatever the case may be. So there's our little piece of paper. Now, what we're going to be doing is, by the way, I print out a picture of the animal that I want to work with for you. Normally I just work from a computer, but I think I've mentioned before in other videos that the problem I run into is that a digital camera can't really take good pictures of a computer screen or anything else, or a device screen. So instead I print it out so that you can see what I'm doing on the video. Alright, now when we go to start working on this drawing, the first thing I'm going to do is just try to guesstimate where things are happening at. So when I look at this drawing, the halfway point is right about here. And if I divide that half in half down here, this will be 1/4. And this up here will be 3/4. And so what I'm noticing is that if I look halfway between 1/4 and the bottom of the picture, a little bit higher than that is where the wood comes up to. So if I divide this in half and this into 1/4, then I can make the height of the wood come a little bit higher than the center. So it looks like that wood that he's got his paws up on is going to be right about there. And then let's go ahead and make those same marks on the other side. So here's half, here's 3/4, here's 1/4. If I divide this in half, so that would be 1/8. A little bit higher than that is going to be where that wood's going to stop at. So here's half, 1/4, 3/4. Here's that 1/8, and then half of that, or a little bit higher, is where that wood's going to stop at. So then I can just go ahead and draw myself a line that connect those together. So that really does help you to get more of an accurate kind of start for things. Now, take a look at how high up the ears are. They're just a little bit below the 3/4 mark. So I'll go ahead and say, well, if 3/4 is here, just a little bit lower than that is going to be right about here. Now, his head is dead center in the middle of this picture. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw an oval in roughly the same shape as his head, and get some little triangles with curved sides basically to represent those ears. I'm going to let the head drop just a little bit, or let the ears go a little bit higher though, just because they weren't coming up to the same height as each other. Okay, so there's our raccoon's ears. And then he does have this little patch of fur on the sides, you know, so I'm just going to go ahead and give it a little bit of extra fluff in the cheek there. And then his little mouth, or his little chin, does come to not quite a point, but a little pointier than what I had. So as you can see, what I'm doing is I'm just refining my shapes. Now the black area here on his cheek, where it meets the white, kind of comes up at an angle like this that goes along towards his little, I guess we'll call these his mutton chops, his little sideburn things hanging off his cheeks. And then it comes down at a slight angle like this and hits his nose, which I'm just going to draw as a circle for right now. And I can see a little hint of his lower lip down here as a little black line. And then let's go ahead and get the little angle here for the top of the black patch around his eyes. These animals are kind of known as the bandits, you know, and so they got the little mask going around their eyes. I mentioned before that they're kind of thieves, so. All right, and then we got the other little mask coming down this way over here. All right, now let's place the eyes next. The eyes come really close to the black patch, right about there and right about there. And then let's get his shoulders next. So his shoulders, let's get the angle. So if you get your two pictures going in the same direction as each other, or in your case, a phone and a picture, whatever you're using, or your phone and your paper, you can go like this and kind of bring it down, and that'll give you the angle for that shoulder. So I need it to be a little bit more of an angle than what I'd actually started to do at first. And then we can do the same thing for that forearm. So the forearm is going roughly like this. And then we'll just make his paw. It's just a simple shape for right now. So I'm just giving it the overall shape that we see, but not really, really big. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit for us here and bring the images a little bit closer to each other. That way you can see a little bit more what's going on. All right, now, the overall shape of that black area in his chest kind of goes like this. And then here is his other little forearm. There's kind of two angles going on there. There's that one, and then there's this one. And then he's got his little paw over here. Now, these are one of the few creatures that actually have like almost perfectly opposable thumbs other than humans. They're not quite opposing, but they can use it almost like an opposable thumb. It's kind of cool. All right, so we got the basic shape of them. I'm going to kind of look at it and see, do I need to refine anything? I think the ears need to be a bit bigger, as well as being rounded off instead of pointed. So I went ahead and enlarged those a little bit. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to try to work in the value and the texture simultaneously, and that is a little bit tricky. Now, before I start that though, I just want to kind of show where the brighter eyebrows are on him. So there's this kind of brighter area going like this, and it kind of just dissolves and becomes more medium as it goes away from there. All right, so what I'm going to start to do is I'm just going to start to copy the direction of the marks, or the direction of the hair, I should say. So I'm looking carefully at the picture, and I'm just trying to copy the direction that the hair is going in, and layering in some texture like that. Now, if you've drawn some really heavy lines, by the way, you can erase those up a lot lighter, so that they're easier to kind of conceal within your texture. I can't lighten it up too much or you won't be able to see it though, so be forgiving if you can still see some of my marks by the time you're done. So I'm just layering it in, and I'm using a sharp enough pencil to where I can get decent fine marks. And just keeping on working this in there like that. Now what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to be editing this video and putting it on fast forward. So I'm going to stop talking for now and just keep working, and that way you can see what I'm talking about, but in faster motion.